Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned. Hello guys, welcome to Global Happenings. Today we are here to reveal to you some of the trending issues, and one of them is the case of Imam of Peace, who has lambasted the president of Nigeria, President Buhari, once again, saying that he has asked Chad to stop killing the Boko boys because of some reasons. And while we're going to be looking at that any moment from now, but first of all, we'd like to encourage you to please subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also on the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish videos on YouTube. Don't also forget to like and to share our videos. All right, let's look at the issue on ground. Imam of Peace is back, and this time around he's telling Nigerians and telling any other person who cares to listen on his Twitter page that the president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, has asked the Federal Republic of Chad to stop killing Boko Haram terrorists. And don't forget that the Chad troop fairly recently went out to launch attack on the Boko boys, and the left caused death. About 1,000 people and that's on the side of Boko boys, were dead, and not just dead, they were able to capture most lands, and even they went as far as capturing even the ammunition base of the Boko boys. And right in there, they saw Nigerian guys, soldiers, security operatives that were captured and kept under captivity. So a lot of thumbs up went to them. Even President of the United States of America thumbed them up. A lot of people were celebrating them. But right now, the story is that the Chad guys have decided to opt out of fighting anything called regional war. In other words, trying to assist every other person. And Imam of Peace is saying that the reason behind it is because the God president of Nigeria has warned that he should stop all the fight against the Boko boys. Looking at all of these and some other things that we have already heard, don't forget that Burutai has decided to relocate, to the southeast, to the northeast, and there are other issues that are currently trending. So what do you have to say about this?
I usually don't like allegations, but let's look at the signs. Sometimes signs and symptoms will give you direction of where, clues. When you are in a puzzle, clues are actually kept in place to direct you to where the whole solution lies. Now let's look at the puzzles, okay? Let's not get carried away by whatever person's politics were being played. Let's look at the puzzles. Before now, Burutai had actually told Nigerians that we need to pray because this has gone very spiritual. The issue of Boko boys is overwhelming. Okay, now this Chad we're looking at here, Chad has had issues because we share borderlines with Chad, and the president amazingly reminded me of the days of David of the Bible that went into war with his people, but he decided to take the bulls by the horn. Enough of this. Who is this Boko boys really? And
that's the Chad president.
That's Chad president. I'm talking about Chad president. He decided to do Nigeria the favor, the honors of actually doing what we ought to do, as in our security chiefs ought to do by now. When Burutai looks as if he was actually, at some point, even the legislators, I'm talking about the Senate, were like, look, we need to change our service chiefs, our security chiefs. It looks like we can't be using the same old thing to expect a different result. We can't use square pegs in round hole. It's not working. Let's begin to change everything. But they had the way of playing politics around it. And look, who are we going to put? All of them are actually underneath the Burutai and all that. Eventually, that also passed. It fizzled out. Now, Chad came into our rescue. At some point, it looked as if back to back, the Boko boys were, encroaching into Nigerian territory more and more. They took over Borno. There was a time Yobe was screaming. At some point, the senators were like, look, it's getting out of hand. At a particular stage, even the Boko boys, the army security chief said, okay, look, we are done with Northeast. They even said they have technically defeated Boko boys, but yet we still see the signs and symptoms of the fact that the Boko boys are having a field day in Nigeria. Now, Chad did the unimaginable, the impossible. Let's just do a refresher. Chad here as a country is not even up to Lagos. It's not even up to your state. It's not up to Osun State. Okay, and that's how small a country, this is not even up to a state in Nigeria, give a brutal attack on Boko boys, and they defeated them back to back. And this is the same Boko boys that Burutai said we should pray that they have invaded even Lagos State. The other time, just fairly recently, in fact, barely 24 hours, there was a bomb blast that took place in Edo State. The people of Benin, somewhere in Edo State, and they couldn't trace it. They're still finding it. The same thing happened in Ekiti and in Lagos, and they keep coming in bit by bit. They can't explain the bomb blast, and Burutai has given first-hand information that they may likely be the Boko Boys have already found their way in, and these guys are helping. And all of a sudden, you're saying no. And just fairly recently, Burutai had actually come up and said, "Look, this is the same people that said they are done. They are not going to Southeast anymore. Let them move down to South and the Southwest." All of a sudden, he's not willing to go back to Southeast. The question is, why? This is the same you that said, we are done with Southeast, because they're actually having a field day. All of a sudden, Chad troops decided to do a mess of the Boko boys, and you now want to return back to the same place that you say you are done for. The whole thing is beginning to play out. Look, even if Nigerians are not talking, the world is watching the scenario. They are watching the whole thing. This is the same Boko boys that you will get. They said the Boko Haram stands for they don't like education, they hate Western education, and they want the whole thing to be Islamatized. They want Islam everywhere. Okay, understood. Now, you are now giving them amnesty for killing people, maiming, raping, all manner of sorrows that you have caused, they have caused. You now give them amnesty for it simply because they said they have repented. Not only did they give them that amnesty, they gave them the chance to study abroad, the same education they stood against. They're now studying abroad, and when they come back, they give them first-hand employment into the military. Nigerians back to back have applied, they have not gotten jobs. That means if you want to get a job in Nigeria, it's simple mathematics. Become a terrorist. Kill, maim, rape, they will give you amnesty. When they give you amnesty, they'll travel. Several times Nigerians are looking for an opportunity to travel abroad, visa to travel abroad. They deny them. But this one, the government is giving them go ahead. Look, any embassy, give them, it is actually government property. They will not travel abroad in the name of the government, get Western education, not the local type, the international level, become an expatriate, and come back and get well-paid job. You now see that to some extent, the way we're even running the country is they're encouraging terrorism. So who would feel bad? Imagine you as a graduate, after going through the 4 walls of the university, you come back, no job, and somebody still kill, maim, and rape, and just Yahoo boy, they're not doing, I won't say it's a good thing, but they're doing so terribly. They will just give them imprisonment. But this one, they give them amnesty. What about those they've killed, maimed, raped? The same thing is happening to Fulani headsmen. You just begin to see the whole thing playing around. It's so funny. And now all of a sudden, Imam of Peace, who is not even a Nigerian, is saying it. And he's saying it. No DSS is going to pick him up.
All right. Thank you very much. And all of these issues that we are hearing, it's traceable to what Al Jazeera had already said. And they talk about that Chad is to stop participating in regional fight against armed groups. And, it really troubles the heart, just like my colleague had rightly say. If you look at how the whole thing has played out thus far, you'll be forced to believe certain things that this Imam of Peace is saying. Now, the first issue that I want to look at is what has the government of the day, what have they done to ensure that these guys are totally they have totally swept off Nigerian borders? What have they done? Now, just fairly recently, not recently, some few months ago, when Sowore had the privilege, called a privilege, of staying in the prison for a period of, I think, 5 months. DSS detention for about 5 months or so. He came out, and the things he said was so troubling to me. Now, the first thing he said was that if you see the executive treatment given to these guys, the leaders of this insurgent group, it's amazing and surprising.
Annoying.
That they have DSTV where they are being kept, that they have the privilege of making calls. Now, these are not guys who patronize or help us out in anything. They were destroying, raping, frustrating the country. But now that they have been arrested, they are being kept in a privileged position.
Kingship, royalty.
Now, we all thought that, whatever had happened, we can't really tell if what Sowore was saying was true, because actually Sowore was being accused of trying to take, bring
treasonable felon.
Yeah, revolution, and it was considered to be treasonable for him. Maybe out of his wicked, in quote, his wicked heart, he decided to do that. It was surprising that after some months have passed, we now, with our very eyes, we saw Boko Haram boys being released after we just received news that our soldiers were killed.
Oh dear.
It was amazing. People went mad. People were shouting. People were screaming. What is going on? These guys just killed scores of Nigerian soldiers. We see countless Nigerian boys, some who had great destiny. We saw them killed by these Boko Haram boys. We saw a situation whereby they were not even given water to drink. You understand?
You know the amazing part? Most of the troops posted to the northeast is actually those from the south.
Mm-hmm.
They actually swap it. The ones from the northern part come to south. Well, that's why if you watch, sometimes this lockdown, see how brutal some of our soldiers are. So some of our citizens. Now, if you go the other way, and another thing that is even amazing is the fact that there's this general that came online. That video wasn't supposed to be viral, but somehow it leaked into the social media where he said, look, that he had the ability, him and his troop can do it, but just that they've never given them the right arms. They lack ammunition to fight. How would you want to go and fight an insurgent that is carrying the best of the ammunition and you're even holding rifle? They are holding all manner of machine guns. You're holding rifle. You first of all do ka. Their own is. How would you even merge it? How would it jive? And that went into the social media. People now there was an outcry. All the budgets, all the funds budgeted for such ammunition.
For defense, yes.
Where has it been on this one? Where is it going to? How come the soldiers up till now do not? And they were drinking dirty water. They fall sick back to back, and they are.
I think the man was retrenched also.
He was shifted according to there was an outcry. They said some person said he was really, but eventually I think they posted him out totally from that place. That the usual way now actually leak such an classified information. That's actually where we are today.
All right, thank you very much. It's a serious issue that we are trusting that God is the only one that will deliver us from Boko Haram. But for Chad, one of the things I want to say is that for Chad to overcome these Boko boys, it clearly means that these guys can be defeated. Now, they didn't just overcome them to a point. They overcame them to a point where even Shekau had to come out and cry and beg and say, Chad people, stay off our back. So we do not want to leave us, that Allah is going to help us if you people don't leave us, just to show that these guys can be crushed. These guys can be defeated. I won't want to say that the president is behind it, but there are a lot of things that are pointing to the fact that something is happening in this whole show. But I just pray that as Burutai has relocated down to this northeast, he will prove to Nigerians that actually we can totally annihilate this insurgent that is troubling the nation. All right.